could enable them to do real world things with AI that we could only dream of.
Where are we? Where's China?
Well, I used to think we were a couple of years ahead of China, but China has caught up in the last 6 months in a way that is remarkable. The Chinese are clever, and they understand the power of a new kind of intelligence for their industrial might, their military might, and their surveillance system.
China now has two of what appear to be the most powerful models ever made, and they're completely open. I was shocked when I read this because there were two libraries from China that were released, open source. One is a problem solver that's very powerful, and another one is a large language model that's equal, and in some cases exceeds the one from Meta, with which they use every day. It's called Llama 3, 400 billion. I was shocked when I read this because I had assumed that in my conversation with the Chinese, that they were 2 to 3 years late. It looks to me like it's within a year now.
Do know that with an enormous amount of money and the great talent in China, which is very real, they are very close. It's very different now than 2 years ago. Right. But they're in the race, and they're in the race of the most important technology that will ever be invented in our lifetimes.
I am a computer scientist, and of course by training. It looks to me, and I'll say this very directly, this is a race between the US and China. Both countries have a willingness, a goal, a national policy. They have the capital, they have the energy, and they have the people at scale that almost no other country has. And China is doubling down. They've recently now brought out models that are analogous or similar to the best models in America, which was shocking to me.
So what are China's advantages over the US?
They have a tradition of very fast consumer, essentially corporate adoption that is within their firms. And even if we win the first part of the race, China will eventually win the race because they adopt this sort of technology more quickly in volume products. A good example is that I spent 20 years working on various robotic solutions. And there are a number of companies that are very, very interesting that are going to build AI robot brains. All of them use inexpensive robots from China who are just as powerful, or which are just as powerful as the American ones, but much less expensive, much more flexible. So the China manufacturing might, which is without question, take a look at their dominance in batteries and solar and so forth, and cars now, could enable them to do real world things with AI that we could only dream of.